Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Mayor of the West Midlands, Andy Street.
So, good evening, everyone, and thank you, and welcome to the West Midlands. Now, it's my honour for us to host the Prime Minister and, of course, all the Cabinet for the launch of our election campaign this evening. And when I was asked on Monday to do this here, I thought to myself, well, why here? And my immediate reaction was that the Prime Minister perhaps wanted to combine the campaign launch with a visit to the NEC's newest visitor attraction. They call it the Bear Grylls Experience. And in that experience, he'd have all sorts of skills that he needs for the campaign. There's the assault course, there's the dealing with the shark attack, and Boris, if I may put it personally, the zip wire, should you wish to use it. It's ready and waiting for you this evening, so after the event, we'll see you there. Now, the real reason to be here tonight, of course, is that we here in the West Midlands have shown that when Conservatives work together at all levels, that we can do some tremendous things. A Conservative government, more Conservative MPs at every election from this region since 2010, and of course, more Conservative councillors, and now a Conservative mayor, the only Conservative mayor for a big metropolitan area in Britain. So what's been going on here then? Well, for those of you from within the M25, thanks for coming up tonight. I have to tell you that our economy is about the same size as the Czech Republic, but more importantly, it's been growing as fast, not faster, than anywhere other than London for the last few years. We're building lots of new jobs. We're building thousands of new homes. Last year, 20% more than the year before. Our young people are better skilled, better qualified than ever before. More people are doing their own bit for climate change by using public transport here. And Sajid, that's before the next cheque is in the post. Thank you very much. And the fourth industrial revolution is happening right here, in our factories, where they're being electrified, and the digitisation of our tech hubs. And of course, we're ready for our moment on the world stage, when we host the City of Culture and the Commonwealth Games. So taking all that together, if I may use a European word tonight, it's boo-boo. It's perhaps the start of our renaissance as a region. If you prefer simple English words, the revival, the rebirth, the renewal of the West Midlands. But we should be clear, it's only the start of that. And we sort of enjoy a restlessness here to do even better. We know we still have plenty of challenges, and most important amongst them is making sure that we share our success with every community across the region. And I mean community in every sense of that word. Now, the other reason for being here tonight is that this place, arguably more clearly than anywhere else in Britain, shows just what's at stake in this election. Because our good news story is pretty much a newfound story. Prior to 2010, this was a place that went backwards. A decade of relative decline. And we simply could not have dreamt of the skyline that we now see emerging in Coventry or in Birmingham. And that decade of failure was under what we would probably now call a moderate Labour government. Just imagine what harm could be done under the government of John McDonnell and Jeremy Corbyn. Imagine it. Our progress simply snuffed out in an instant. And the other big reason for being here to launch what many call the Brexit election is that you've come to the manufacturing and exporting capital of the UK. So we know probably again, better than anywhere else, the impact of this Brexit paralysis. I hear day after day from business leaders the damage that uncertainty is doing. And quite simply, we have to find a solution. We have to get this sorted. We must end the paralysis with a good deal that enables business to start reinvesting again with confidence. So for all of us, the run-up to Christmas is going to be rather different this year, isn't it? Now, for years, for me, it used to be about the John Lewis ads. The penguins, the bears and the hares, the trampolining dogs that you may remember. But this Christmas, the mission is very much more clear. It's quite simply to return as many of the brilliant candidates for the West Midlands to Westminster. And we're sure we can make real progress here. Quite simply because of the unity, the ideas, the sort of energy of the Conservative team in this room. It's an authentic team that knows how to work together. So, it's been an honour to share a little part of our story. I hope our guests will go back with confidence, and I hope for Team WM, whether from Warwick, Stoke, Coventry, Dudley, Northfield, or indeed Wolverhampton, the mission is very, very clear. Boris, Prime Minister, we will make our contribution to a refreshed Conservative government that will deliver that all-important deal and will then go on to deliver what we're proud to call a one-nation Conservative agenda. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Home Secretary, Priti Patel.
Thank you. Our party, the Conservative Party, is the greatest political party in the world. One of the oldest and one of the most successful. And there's a reason for that. It's you. It's all of you in this room. Our magnificent members and activists, all of you in this hall today. And I salute you all. Your passion, your energy, your dedication, but most of all, I salute your values. The same values shared by the majority of people in our great United Kingdom. The hard-working, honest, law-abiding, who share our optimism for the future, who share pride in our great country, and they share our desire to live in a country where anyone, including the daughter of immigrants, can succeed. And over the past 100 days, our Conservative government, led by our Prime Minister, has been getting on with delivering on their priorities, the people's priorities. Because yet again, it has fallen to our great party to lead our nation through testing times. We promised that we would get a new Brexit deal, a better deal, and we have delivered one that will maximise the opportunities of Brexit and allow us to develop new and exciting partnerships with the rest of Europe and the rest of the world without the anti-democratic backstop. Promise delivered. We promised that hospitals would get the investment they need to match the devotion of the staff in the NHS. And we're delivering on the biggest investment in hospital infrastructure in a generation. Promise delivered. And we promised without apology that our party would take its rightful place as the party of law and order in Britain once again. And that we would stand with the brave men and women of our police and our security services, and that we would stand against the criminals who seek to do us harm. Now, the recruitment of an additional 20,000 police officers has already begun, and every single one of those new officers will have increased powers to keep our families, our communities, and our country safe. And every single one of those officers can rest assured that this Prime Minister, this Home Secretary, and this party will always have their backs. That's what I mean when I say that this party is delivering on the people's priorities. And of course, that's why this election is a choice between real change or simply more uncertainty, more dither and more delay. Voters must choose between the certainty and hope that we know a functioning Conservative majority brings to our country. A vote for Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party will mean more delay and an unwanted and divisive second referendum. It would mean extreme economic policies, spelling disaster for Britain, with the hard-working majority once again left footing the bill for Labour's financial ruin. It would even result in a Prime Minister who refuses to condemn and stand against vile anti-Jewish racism. And a vote for the Lib Dems, of course, will result in Jeremy Corbyn as Prime Minister. And a vote for the Brexit Party will result in a Brexit-blocking, democracy-denying coalition of chaos with more indecision, confusion and uncertainty. Yes. And with Jeremy Corbyn as Prime Minister and in charge of our economy, we will see more delay, more dither, and 2020 spent having 2 more referendums. To all of you, I say we can never allow that to happen. Yeah. Or, as one of our greatest Conservative Prime Ministers famously once said, no, no, no. So only a Conservative majority government will deliver, and we will get Brexit done with the Prime Minister's Great New Deal, finally giving businesses and families the economic certainty they all need to live their lives and plan for the future. And when we get Brexit done, we will get Parliament working for you, the British people, improving local high streets and bus services, investing more money in schools, and introducing an Australian-style points-based immigration system, one that works in the best interest of Britain, one that attracts and welcomes the best and the brightest, and one that is under the control of the British government. So to everyone in the hall today, let's get out there together and deliver our message. Only the Conservatives will get Brexit done. Only the Conservatives will deliver on the people's priorities. And only the Conservative Party will get our country back on the road to a brighter future. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Chairman of the Conservative Party, James Cleverly.
What's the line? What's the line? I love you back. We didn't want this election. We didn't want this election. Our hand was forced. But we do need this election. We need to break the Brexit deadlock and get on with delivering on voters' priorities, something the last Parliament proved incapable of doing. Rather strangely, for an opposition leader, Jeremy Corbyn didn't want this election either. I mean, surely the only opposition leader in history to have repeatedly blocked an election. But, ladies and gentlemen, we know why, don't we? Yeah, he's running scared. He'd prefer to play parliamentary games, hide from accountability, safely in opposition. He'd rather do that than go to the country and try to explain where his party stands on the single biggest issue of the day. And you can understand why. Because Labour's Brexit position is as clear as mud. Corbyn, just think about this for a moment. Corbyn wants to renegotiate a new withdrawal agreement and then, in all probability, campaign against it in a second referendum. Months, years down the drain. More pointless delay. Billions paid to the EU so that MPs can continue to not make a decision. And remember, with no credible chance of becoming Prime Minister, Joe Swinson's only role would be to prop up a Marxist government. Unable to secure a majority himself, Corbyn would end up in hock to the Lib Dems and the SNP. And the price for their support? Yes. 2 referendums in 2 years. 2 once-in-a-generation decisions retaken in an attempt to overturn results that they don't like. But do not fear. Voters are not daft. They will see through Labour's lies, see through their fantasy economics, and recognise their fundamental disdain for the British voters. But their own incompetence aside, there is another crucial reason that Jeremy Corbyn has been running scared of an election. And that reason will be on stage speaking to you very shortly. See if you can guess. You elected him with an overwhelming majority in the leadership election. I've worked with him at City Hall, and I've seen what he can achieve. We have a leader who is an optimistic, energetic person who, for good reason, spooks the left. He is a formidable campaigner, instinctively understands what the country needs, and is the perfect antidote to the relentless pessimism of Labour. There really is no better custodian for our nation's future as we set out to take advantage of new opportunities. You know who I'm talking about, and he'll be speaking just after this short video.
To avoid any discussion,
this Parliament had become dysfunctional.
If I come back here with a working majority in Parliament, then I will get Parliament working again for you. When people get up at 5 a.m. to get their businesses ready, when they risk their own money or mortgage their own homes to develop a new product or a new venture, when they have the guts to find a new market at home or abroad, we don't sneer at them, we cheer for them and do what we can to help, because we understand that it's only by having a dynamic free market economy that we can deliver on our programme of uniting this country and levelling up with infrastructure, education and technology. And it's only if you have great public services that you can have a successful market economy. So I say, come with us. That's the choice at this election. I hope very much that you will support us. Let's get Brexit done and unleash the potential of the whole United Kingdom.
Thank you very much. It's absolutely fantastic to be here in Birmingham, where our great Conservative mayor has already taken the precaution of having every street named after him, and great to see so many of you here. What a fantastic crowd at the beginning of what I think is the most important election our country has faced for a generation. I can imagine there might be some people here who weren't too keen on having a general election in the run-up to Christmas. And if you did think that, I'm with you. I didn't want an election, and no Prime Minister, frankly, I love my job, no Prime Minister wants an election, particularly when I'm enjoying, there's so much that we want to get on and do, but my friends, we have no choice. We have a parliament that is paralysed, blocked, generally incapable of digestive function as an anaconda that has swallowed a tapir, neither moving one way or the other, if you see what I mean. This parliament just refuses to get Brexit done. And that's, of course, bad for our democracy, because we asked the people of this country whether they wanted to stay in the EU. We told them time and again that we would honour their decision, didn't we? We told them whatever they voted for, leave or remain, we would put it into effect. And yet for 3.5 years, we have seen non-stop political manoeuvring to frustrate Brexit and thwart the will of the people. And the result is that the whole Brexit delay is holding us all back. It's like a bendy bus. I banned them in London. A bendy bus jackknifed on a yellow box junction. Nobody can get round it. It's blocking the traffic in every direction. And the uncertainty and the delay are bad for the country, because people need to plan, they need to make investments, to hire new employees, to buy new homes. And we need a new election. We need an election and a new parliament, because we can't go on like this. And because now is the time to make a change and unleash that tidal wave of investment that's going to flow into this country, a great surge of confidence into the UK. And we can do that in just a few weeks, because I'm proud of many things that we've done in the last 108 days. I think it is 108 days. The biggest investments in the NHS for a generation, 40 new hospitals green-lighted as a result of decisions taken by this government, levelling up education funding around the country, more for primary and secondary schools across the country, 20,000 more police officers. Pretty was just talking to you, wasn't she? Great job, Pretty, recruiting 20,000. And I've met some of them. I'm proud to say I've already met some of the recruits. Gigabit broadband, 8 years ahead of schedule, sprouting through every orifice, every home, like a kind of very informative vermicelli. I don't know what gigabit broadband is, but it's going to be fantastic for our country. We're going to have an infrastructure revolution across the UK. I'm proud of many, many things that we're doing. But most of all, I'm proud of our deal. The deal that they said was impossible, the deal they said we couldn't do, and it's a great deal. I've heard some people in the last few days trying to attack our deal. My friends are trying to cast aspersions on it, and it reminds me a bit of candle sellers at the dawn of the age of the electric light bulb, or makers of typewriters on beholding their first laptop computer. They have a terrible sense that they're about to lose their market, because this deal delivers everything that I campaigned for Brexit. We take back control of our money so we can spend millions more every week on the NHS or whatever priorities we want, hundreds of millions. We can take back control of our borders with an Australian-style points-based system so we can bring in people, whether they're scientists or agricultural workers that this country needs, but we can control it. We can take back control of our laws so we can do things in our own way, do things differently and better when we choose, from free ports to free trade deals, from banning the cruel live shipment of animals to cutting VAT on tampons. We can do things differently in the UK. And under this deal, the crucial thing is the whole of the UK comes out of the EU. England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, whole, entire and perfect. And this deal is ready to go. It's done. I mean, Parliament, before they infuriatingly refused before they delayed it, they actually gave it a preliminary seal of approval, if you remember. It said, it's there. You just whack it in the microwave. gas, I don't know what, I'm not very good at cooking, but you know, gas mark 4, it's there. It's ready, it is ready to go. Prick the lid, put it in, and then we can get on. We get this deal through Parliament, and then get on with all the fantastic projects in which this government is engaged, uniting and levelling up our country, giving people opportunity across our country with better education, better infrastructure and new technology. That is what this government is all about. It's about giving hope and chance. And we can make those investments. We can make those investments as conservatives with credibility, precisely because we have taken the tough decisions to restore public finances. We've shown that we've managed the economy well, and we've got 9 years of uninterrupted growth, the economy about 20% bigger than it was when we took over in 2010, and record employment in this country. Why? Because we understand the importance of a dynamic market economy. And there is a reason why this party is more trusted on health. Matt Hancock, more trusted on health than his counterpart, and more trusted on education. Gavin Williamson, more trusted than his Labour counterpart on education. Because people can see that we understand how to pay for that whole society, and how we can ensure that society has the wealth to pay for fantastic public services and infrastructure. And that is the balance and the symmetry at the heart of our one nation modern conservatism. And that is the problem with Bolivarian revolutionary socialism as practiced by Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party. And the Labour Party always runs out of other people's money. That's what happens. And it will happen again. It's going to happen very soon under this lot. Because they have a deranged plan to spend £196 billion on their friends in the unions, on renationalisation, and to do it, they're going to raise taxes on pensions, on corporations to the highest level in Europe, on inheritance, on homes, on guards. There's a huge list. And as I said before, the tax on guards means Sevenoaks have to change their name to Three Oaks as a result of what they've done. And they know themselves. Look at what they're doing. Look at the preparations that they are making. They know that their policies for the economy are ruinous because John McDonnell, remember John McDonnell? He was the guy who was sacked by Ken Livingstone, for preparing a fictitious budget for the GLC. John McDonnell, who's even to the left of Corbyn, says he's preparing for a run on the pound and that he wants to restore exchange controls, which we haven't seen for decades in this country. And so the choice before us is very stark and very clear. I say to everybody, I say to all of you here, tonight, everybody watching, come with us, which is a party that supports a fantastic education for every child in this country, because we believe in opportunity across this country. Or go with Jeremy Corbyn. Go with Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party, who want to expropriate the property of schools and abolish Ofsted, which actually protects kids from bullying in the classroom. We support our armed forces. We believe them. He actually said he wants to ban them. We back our police in the fight against street crime and knife crime. His party thinks that stop and search is oppressive and inappropriate. We want to control our immigration system. He wants unlimited and uncontrolled immigration, no matter what pressure that puts on public services such as the NHS. We want our country to stand tall in the world and to stick by our allies and our values. Well, he's so consumed with a juvenile dislike of America that he actually sides with the mullahs of Tehran rather than Washington. And when Russia ordered the poisoning of innocent civilians in Salisbury, he sided with Vladimir Putin. And there's a key difference that we all face at this election, and that is, above all, come with us and we will get Brexit done. Yeah. Whereas this guy wants nothing more. This guy wants nothing more than dither and delay. He wants a referendum on Scotland because he's told the Scot Nats that he's happy to break up the union if they sustain him in power. And of course, he wants another referendum on the EU. Unbelievable. I mean, he said tonight he wants to have another extension so that he can have another negotiation. But it's not at all clear what he wants to achieve in this negotiation. Does anybody know what he wants to achieve? We don't know. We don't know what question he would like to put to the electorate in this referendum. We don't even know what his own position is. Is he for leave? Is he for leave or for remain? Is he in or out? Do you know? I don't know. Is it forwards or back? I don't know. I don't think he knows himself. In fact, the only bit of flotsam of intelligence to have emerged from the Bermuda Triangle of Labour's Brexit policy is that they're preparing, as I think James just said, they're preparing to do a new deal and then campaign against it 6 months later, with all the futility of those suicidal nights in Monty Python. But there is one thing we do know. There's one thing we do know about his policy, and that is that another referendum on the EU, another Brexit referendum means more delay, it means more uncertainty, it means more acrimony and division in our country when this country is aching to move on. So let's make next year the year of prosperity and growth. Prosperity and growth, not the year of two chaotic referendums. And if I come back with a working majority in Parliament, then I will get Parliament working for you. And on day one of the new Parliament in December, we will start getting our New Deal through so we get Brexit done in January and put the uncertainty behind us. Let's make 2020 about the people of this country and not about its politicians. Let's get out of the rut of the last 3 years and get on with our work as Conservatives of making this country the greatest place in the world to live. The greatest place to start a family, the greatest place to send your kids to school, to start a business, the place that leads the world in clean, green technology and tackling climate change and greenhouse gases. Let's get Brexit done, my friends, and get on with our project of sensible, moderate, but tax-cutting, one nation conservatism, spreading hope and opportunity across the whole of the UK, and let's unleash the potential of this country. Thank you all very much for coming tonight, and I'll see you at the barricades. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.